Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Treasure found on the Curse of Oak Island as 500-year-old gemstone uncovered. Treasure has finally been found on the Curse of Oak Island, in the form of a brooch containing a 500-year-old faceted red gemstone. The breakthrough discovery was made on the penultimate episode of the history show's 5th season, being uncovered by metal detecting expert Gary Drayton, in an area to the north of the Nova Scotian island. The rear part of the brooch was uncovered first, followed by a second part featuring the gemstone set in metal. Both items were found in the same location after being picked up using a handheld metal detecting device. They were dug out of the ground by Rick Lagina, who along with brother Marty leads the treasure hunt on Oak Island. It was initially believed the stone could possibly be a ruby, but it was later revealed to be a 400 to 500-year-old rhodolite garnet. It has at least 11 to 12 facets. The Season 5 finale showed Drayton revealing its age and what kind of stone it was. He said, "I took the gem to a gemologist. It's a 400 to 500-year-old stone. If that is correct, it would mean the gemstone dates from the 1500s. The discovery came on Lot 8 of the island's 32 lots, and in reality took place towards the end of 2017, while the team were carrying out their final searches on the island before Canada's harsh winter set in. It was found on the same lot that a decorative keyplate was uncovered on the previous episode of the show. The brooch's discovery came moments after Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina also discovered what was believed to be a military cuff button dating from around 1780 to 1820. Initially only the backplate of the ornate but visibly aged brooch was discovered, with the pair unable to locate the gemstone that formed the rest of it. They decided to leave the small hole they had dug open in case they wanted to return later with a sifting device. However, in a lucky twist, just as they were walking away, Drayton picked up another signal with his metal detecting device. It turned out to be the circular piece of metal containing the unevenly faceted stone. The pair were visibly blown away by the discovery, with Drayton from Grimsby in England describing it as a Bobby Dazzler, a British phrase for something considered remarkable. Other interesting finds on the show in Season 5 have included human bones, pearlware pottery, and bookbinding discovered in the island's so-called Money Pit area. The penultimate episode also saw the rediscovery of a U-shaped structure under the beach at the island's Smith's Cove. It was previously found by treasure hunters Dan Blankenship and David Tobias in the 1970s, but its true purpose was never discovered. The sun hovered low on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the rough-hewn landscape of Oak Island. For years the island had been a stage for mystery, drawing adventurers, researchers, and treasure hunters alike. But today was different. Today, history was about to be rewritten. Rick and Marty Lagina stood near the edge of the fabled money pit, their expressions a mixture of hope and skepticism. Years of searching, digging, and theorizing had brought them to this moment, but they'd been here before. They had felt the promise of discovery, only for it to vanish like a mirage, but something in the air felt different, an electric hum that seemed to pulse through the very soil beneath their feet. The excavation team worked meticulously, inch by inch, deeper into the earth. The rhythmic clanking of machinery filled the air, blending with the calls of seagulls circling overhead. As the drill churned through centuries of accumulated dirt and debris, there was a sudden shift in the ground. The workers paused, exchanging nervous glances. They had hit something solid, something not native to the island's rocky terrain. "Careful," Rick said, stepping forward. His voice, steady but tinged with anticipation, cut through the tension like a knife. Everyone fell silent as the drill operator slowed the machine to a crawl, delicately lifting fragments of wood and stone. With a final groan, the drill arm lifted from the pit, and there it was, an object glittering beneath layers of centuries-old sediment. It was unmistakable, even through the grime. Something was embedded in the earth, something that shimmered in a way no stone or mineral could. The workers scrambled, using tools to carefully pry the object free. As they did, the mud slid away to reveal a dazzling, deep blue gemstone, no larger than a walnut, glowing with an ethereal light in the dim afternoon sun. For a moment, there was only silence. "Is that Marty's voice trailed off as he knelt beside the pit, eyes wide. He reached out cautiously, his hand trembling as it hovered just above the stone. He didn't dare touch it. Not yet. A soft gasp rippled through the crew. The gemstone was unlike anything they had ever seen before. Its facets caught the light in such a way that it seemed alive, pulsing with the breath of the island itself. Encased in an ornate gold setting that had long since tarnished, the stone appeared to have been part of something greater, perhaps the centerpiece of a royal artifact or a gift from an ancient empire long lost to time. 500 years old at least, whispered an archaeologist who had been monitoring the dig. Judging by the setting, I'd say late 15th or early 16th century. European, maybe Portuguese. His voice was hushed, reverent, as though they were standing in the presence of a relic from another world. The words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of history. Could this gemstone be part of the legendary Oak Island treasure, whispered about in secret circles for centuries? Theories had long swirled about Spanish galleons, Knights Templar, and ancient pirate hordes, but this was real, tangible. Rick finally broke the silence, his voice thick with emotion. We need to get this analyzed. Right now. As they carefully placed the gemstone into a protective case, a wave of excitement rippled through the crew. Word spread quickly across the island. Cameras rolled, capturing every detail as the Leginas and their team prepared for the next step. Theories bubbled to the surface, some plausible, others fantastical. Could the gemstone be tied to the fabled riches of Marie Antoinette, smuggled away during the French Revolution, or perhaps it had been part of a Spanish treasure fleet, lost in a storm off Nova Scotia's coast? By the time the team made it back to the research tent, the island was abuzz with speculation. Forensic experts were already en route, eager to examine the discovery and confirm its age and origin. But even without confirmation, they all knew that they had found something extraordinary. As the gemstone sat on a velvet cloth, gleaming under the bright lights of the tent, Marty couldn't help but feel a deep sense of connection to the past. For centuries, people had sacrificed fortunes, lives, and reputations in search of this very moment. He imagined the hands that had once held this gemstone, perhaps a nobleman in a distant court, or a captain aboard a storm-tossed ship. What stories had it witnessed? What secrets did it hold? The next few days were a blur of activity. News outlets swarmed the island, and experts from around the world offered their insights. Some speculated that the gemstone had once belonged to a Templar treasure trove, hidden away by the elusive order before they disappeared from history's pages. Others posited that it could be a part of the infamous pirate Blackbeard's haul, rumored to have been scattered across the Atlantic. But as thrilling as the theories were, one thing was clear. The gemstone was authentic, and it was ancient. Finally, the results of the analysis came in. The gemstone, they confirmed, was indeed over 500 years old. It had been expertly cut and polished, likely by master craftsmen in Renaissance-era Europe. But beyond its age and beauty, there was another, more tantalizing revelation. Embedded deep within the gem structure were tiny flecks of a rare mineral, one not native to Europe or the Americas. This stone, the expert announced, barely able to contain his excitement, likely originated in the Far East, India or Sri Lanka, before making its way into Europe. The implications were staggering. This gemstone had traveled halfway across the world, passing through the hands of kings, traders, and explorers, before finally finding its resting place on Oak Island. But why? How? The answers for now remained elusive, but for Rick, Marty, and the rest of the Oak Island team, the discovery of the gemstone was a beacon of hope. After years of searching, they had found something real, something that tied the island's mystery to the greater currents of history. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the island, the Lagginas stood together, staring out at the money pit. The gemstone had been just one piece of a puzzle that had endured for centuries, but now they knew it was possible. The treasure of Oak Island wasn't just a myth. It was out there, waiting to be uncovered.